being kind is that beautiful balance between having boundaries, I think. You know, being nice is no boundaries, where I think being kind is having the boundaries in place to be able to be like, look, if you want to ask for my time, of course I'm going to give you that undivided attention, but I'm not going to sit with you for 15 hours and listen to you whinge. I'm here to support, but I need you to come to the table too, because both of our time is valuable.
So how did you get started? Like, what is...
Yeah.
Transparently, I didn't want to stalk you too much because I wanted to ask you, like, what is your story?
My story. All right. So I grew up in country Victoria. Still live there as a 24-year-old now. Fresh one day into the 24-year-old scheme. My parents both were, I guess, a little bit business focused, but very creative, very music orientated. Didn't know how to play any instruments, but really had an appreciation for music and the arts. Grew up loving lighting and presenting and being on camera. I was that kid that was always holding the camera that was like, oh, Benny, do you want to be on camera? Ladies and gentlemen. Like, I loved it so much. I still do, actually. Nothing's changed. As I grew up, my parents were the sort of parents that were like, Benny, if you ever want to achieve something in your life, you have to work for it. To the point where if I went to like Woolies and I'd be like, Mum, I'm going to have a chocolate. She'd be like, have you mowed the grass? Have you done your chores? No? Okay, well, you can't get a chocolate, man. Like, what is this? So it was this really beautiful way of like learning that the gratification and achieving stuff in life has to come from actually being committed to do something. And then even when I went to restaurants and had to have dinner, it was always like, Benny, order yourself. And if I didn't order myself, it was like, you're not eating. So it was this really beautiful way to, I think, grow up in the country, climbing trees, you know, falling over, falling out of trees, you know, blowing up stuff with petrol. Like, it's all the stuff that you kind of do when you live in the country. I almost burnt my house down a few times. But it's such a tactical, hands-on way to grow up, and that was really special for me. So as I kind of progressed, I got to primary school and started producing shows. I loved it. My mum used to take me to musicals. I reckon I've been to like 500-600 bloody shows in my lifetime. And every time we went, we'd enjoy a show. We'd go stay in the city for the night, and then I'd come home and construct the stages out of Lego. So I'd build the curtains and the wings and the fly towers, and then I'd buy myself some LED lights from the $2 shop and put them in and get some incense and haze it up. Like, I had this obsession with creating cool musical theatre space. I'd go to the circus. I'd get a circus tent. I'd be like, you know, I'd bring my parents in and would have like the full Cirque du Soleil in my bedroom under my sheets. Like, it's this really beautiful thing of like, they never limited me creatively. They went, if you want to achieve something in your life, just go do it, man. Like, we're here to support you. We'll never say no, but we'll say why it's a good idea or why it's a bad idea and let you make up your own mind. As I grew up, got to high school, it continued. I was asked to be on local radio. I started an events management course at high school. I was producing all of our school musicals from just asking questions. I think I was the first year 7 in Assumption College's 124-year history to ever be a part of 5 of the programs that were meant to be for year 9s and above. Because I emailed the principal when I first got there and was like, I don't think this is fair. My parents spent all this money to be at this school, and I can't even join the photography team? What? I said, I will buy myself a camera. Like, I've got some funds from my successful career as a Lego construction person and mowing lawns. Like, I've got this, man. So I joined school and really gave everything a crack. I went, I'm here. I've got this beautiful opportunity to learn, to be educated, to be around some pretty cool people. Let me try and take as much as I can from it. So started events management, started on local radio, started hosting little live music events for young creators and young musicians. I was always around like musical people, can play the piano, around singers, and I was around some really cool singers. I was like, hey, let's create little events, little open mics. Then I guess the rest kind of grew. As that progressed, I started my radio show and had people like Peter Hitchner, Chrissy Swan, Miguel from MasterChef, so many beautiful humans that really supported that this young 16-year-old was giving it a crack, from just emailing me, hey, you don't know me, you probably won't reply to this. However, I really love what you're doing. And if you ever have like 20 minutes in your day, I'd love to just come and have a chat with you. I think whenever you get a response from an email like that, as a young kid, you kind of go, oh, wow, okay, people actually maybe appreciate this drive and this drive doesn't go unnoticed. And then I decided to have my first ever event, which was the kind of the pinnacle of where I started, which was called the Gala, which I took my $2,000 of saving that I had from DJing all my family friends' parties and investing in lighting and, you know, all that play money that I had from birthdays. And I went to my local venue, Kilmore Trackside, and I said, look, I'd love to host a gala. I'm obsessed with like the arias. I want to have my own version of that. And they, funnily enough, were like, wow, this kid kind of got some balls to come in here and do this. And where's your parents? Oh, they're waiting outside. I told them I didn't want to come in because I wanted to look professional. Then they said, okay. So they took the $2,000 deposit. I had an event for 250 people. I did the producing, the lighting, the sound. I emceed. We gave all these artists performance coaching. There was 12 artists. It sold out. I was probably $1,000 short. And then Bennygregs gave some funding, and that's where everything changed for me, because I went, if I'm able to do this at my age with the people around me, with the resources that I have, with minimal knowledge, but just pure passion, imagine what else is capable in life. So then went through school, started to grow my portfolio. I shot 495 events as a photographer, half of those for free. At school, I shot the Grand Prix, the AFL Grand Finals, like just from asking, but then built up a portfolio that, as you both would know very well, as a creator, as soon as you've got those people under your belt, people are more than happy to compensate for your time. Grew that, and then started to produce more events and shows, and my little hobby went to, like, you know, registering for GST, and then slightly more than GST, and it was like, so, you know, slightly more than that threshold, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. Then COVID hit, and we got back from China with my mum, and she had a bit of a cough. I was in the process of building my new show, which was called The Gala, which is at a bigger venue for 400 people. And she got really ill. She was diagnosed with cancer. And within 5.5 months, she passed away through the middle of COVID, just before I turned 19. So I got to have a pretty good innings with my mum. 18 years is exceptional, and I wouldn't be the person I am without her. But then everything went downhill. My dad completely fell apart. Our house flooded. We lost it. Like, my family had investment properties. I took over everything. As a fresh 18-year-old, I didn't even know what any of this stuff was. So between power of attorneys, tax, insurance, credit card, selling, capital gains, everything was up to me, which in retrospect now was one of the most beautiful things that have ever happened to me, genuinely. From there, I started being a bit more vulnerable and honest online and sharing my story and being like, look, I'm going to just figure this out on the journey right now. Fast forward to I guess now, from all that growth, I have a beautiful children's book that I wrote with my best friend, which is helping young kids overcome anxiety. Help a young boy named Billy who loses his mum. She turns into a butterfly and helps him through affirmations learn how to build resilience. I'm part of 3 organizations. One of them, North End Financial Services, Bennygregs Bank. I'm the youngest director of that. We've given back over $5.5 million. As you guys know, community banks are pretty amazing, especially in regional towns. That Creative Hub, which is a creative studio that people can hire, and we have events that help young musicians and creators thrive. And then BG Group, which is my organization that looks after BG Creative, which is helping busy marketing executives execute their strategy and work with incredible contractors like yourselves to be able to execute those strategies on long term. Futuration, which is the extension of the Gala, which is now a fully fledged program that we have 3 events a year and help over. We have 3,000-4,000 people in the audiences and help over 150 young performers each year. And then my personal brand, which is the MC, the presenter, the kind of wacky ass 24-year-old that just really doesn't give a shit about making a fool of himself, but wants to really just empower other people to live their life the way that they want to. So that's a bit of a summary of my story, I guess, in the shortest way possible. But
pretty good summary. I mean, there's so many important points there to pull on, right? Like, I think the biggest thing that reigns true to me is you just you gave it a shot, and most people don't take that step of, oh no, like they're not going to support me because they're so successful, and there's no handouts. And I think it's a wrong perception that a lot of people have that, oh no one's going to give me that time of day. And I think like the fact that you pick that up so early and you're like, I'll email Peter, I'll email the ACL. Yeah. Most people go, I'll never do that. And it's so important that you've just taken a step.
The more you realize that everyone is very human and very equal, the less that, like, I see so many of my mates now go, oh my God, you caught up with that person on the weekend? It's like, yeah, they're just like that. I promise you, they're just no different to me. They're just, you put such a, it's the population that puts such a, an energy or a stigma on these people. Like genuinely, like you hang out with every celebrity I've hung out with, business owner that do hundreds of millions of dollars, $1 billion in their company, or like no one's any different. Genuinely. Like obviously there's some cockheads, but like that's normal. Everyone's got a bit of an ego. But I think when you learn that everyone is accessible, it's just about being honest and authentic. And if they don't reply, then that's okay. You move on to the next person. That's a big thing. I think if everyone could learn that, even from dating, anything, just go up. What's there to lose?
And it doesn't mean that you're a failure either.
No.
Like I know that personally, that was a big thing for me. Is like I want to. I'm such a giver. I want everyone to have the best outcome ever.
Yeah.
And I'll compromise myself and whether it be mental health or whatever, so that everyone else gets the right outcome.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like maybe I shouldn't reach out, or maybe I should. Like it used to be the thing of maybe I shouldn't do this because what if they do respond and I don't give them the best outcome or whatever. It's like that's okay, as well. Like sometimes you can reach out and then you can understand the project more, and maybe it's more than what you initially thought you could do. Be honest. Yeah. Just be like, look, initially I was really going for this, but it's just outside of what I can do.
Do you find yourself checking in on those? Do you find yourself like on a regular basis going, oh shit, like I probably should have just made that jump. And like, I like to give you context. Every month I'll look at my cal and be like, look at all the things I just did, and went, there was a lot of opportunity that I missed there because I just bit my tongue and I didn't ask that. But then I did so much. Like, of course, you're always progressing. You're asking the questions. You made so much opportunity. But then I think it's a really beautiful thing to look back and be like, oh yeah, there's a lot of things I didn't do this month. But then it's always in the front of your mind then. So when you go to the next month, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to ask these questions now. I'm not going to be afraid to do that. Do you find yourself doing that much? Or is it just something that's naturally like, oh?
I reckon we do that a bit together a lot now. Like we are often here at the studio until like after 5 o'clock, and like everyone else has left, and we'll be here for like an extra hour just like talking about stuff. And I feel like there's a lot of like forced personal development through having a business and having a team. Like I find like I feel like you're often saying to me like, oh, I wish I had done this differently, but like, and we just talk about it a lot together. It's kind of the cool thing about us working together.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we try to create a lot of space for reflection. It was like one of the big things like creating WeCreate was, we were both successful in a freelance career and we did well, but we didn't want to, overextend ourselves or create a ceiling that, time was our only thing, or it was like charge more or book more. And, we both sort of had the sit down in our own careers, and we both hit the moment of we don't want to be the best. We love the game.
Yeah.
We don't have the ego or the drive to be, I want to be, the best photographer in construction or the best drone pilot or XYZ. But creating space, both of us, I think it's a pretty core, purpose for us. And it's like, how can we create a better model than what most freelancers are just going after?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I want to get to 10K a month, get the recurring revenue, get to 10K a month. And, that's like your freelance career. And yeah, sure, you can earn $130,000, but then very quickly, as you hit the GST threshold, you lose money on tax. You got to get all the insurances, and very quickly the 130 goes down. And then, you sit there and wonder at the end of the year and you go, where'd all the money go?
Yeah, correct.
So it's like, how can we build a better model that can support these great creatives that are so talented?
Yeah.
but lack the skill sets in other areas, and like create the space so they can do the things they love and we can do the things we love.
Yeah, correct. That's special. And partnerships is such a beautiful thing. As I'm learning, I'm fresh into a partnership, a year and a half, and the joys in how much you learn about yourself and how much you also learn about relationships and the strengths in other people and how to leave space for each other, and how to navigate challenges and problems, and also be honest with your ideas and find solutions is such a special thing. And I think that in itself is like such a beautiful educational space. Like, allowing space for their partnership to thrive is really special, but also very challenging at times, because you sometimes you have to remove that internal ego, don't you, to be like, hey, actually, you know what? There's probably areas here that I know that I'm not the strongest in, but I know my business partner or this partner is strong in, and that's really special to be able to learn.
And I think even like creating an environment for like a feedback loop as well, to like get like hear stuff back and forth and like not take it personally, because it's like that person only wants the best for you.
Correct.
So like the criticism isn't coming from like a bad place. But then even we had a little saying earlier in the year around like I think we've operated our businesses in the past through being nice rather than kind.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not sure we didn't coin that. Someone else coined it, but we've said it a lot. It's like, how do we go to the team and make sure and each other and say like what we need to hear, rather than like maybe like dancing around it to try to be like at the end of the day, it's like sometimes like I've gone along to a shoot and I've shot something. I'm like, I've come back. I'm like, that was bad.
Yeah.
That wasn't great. Hey, and like if the team dance around that with me and go like
It's okay.
Hey, maybe it could have been this, or maybe we'll make it work, instead of just going like, look, that was no good. Like we need to go and reshoot. Like just being honest and going like, what's the next step? Because it's a easy thing to just, I think just want to be nice to everyone. Like when you're working together in a partnership, but even with employees, you do the same thing, I reckon. And it doesn't help growth. Like if you do the feedback loop stuff properly, you've got a good relationship there for the partnership. I think that you can grow really, really fast through having someone that sees everything and you can't posture, you can't make it out to be something else.
Being kind is that beautiful balance between having boundaries. I think being kind is. It's like, being nice is no boundaries. Where I think being kind is having the boundaries in place to be able to be like, look, I'm here to support. I'm going to give you honest feedback. You're supported by me, but there is a boundary here. And I value the fact that I'm giving you this time to spend with you right now. If you want to ask for my time, of course, I'm going to give you that undivided attention, but I'm not going to sit with you for 15 hours and listen to you whinge. I'm going to sit there and be like, hey, I'm here to support, but I need you to come to the table too, because both of our time is valuable. And I think that's how I distinguish nice and kind. Being nice is like, oh, of course, I'll sit with you all night. But being kind is like, hey, I've got 2 hours right now. I'll put my phone away. You've got me. Let's spend that time together. Let's make sure you feel like you're motivated or you feel like you've got that energy post here. But then I need to focus on making sure I've got to the gym tonight and I've got this, so that I can still be that person for you. So that I very much resonate with the nice and kind approach, because I was always a very nice. You can come across a bit of a pushover at times. Where being kind, it's like, oh, he's awesome, dude. He obviously knows. He knows where he stands, and it's really good. He appreciates his time, but I think people can appreciate that more and more. I think in business,
in the creative space too, that's probably one of the biggest things we see across. I feel like I've seen that across the board with 90% of the creatives is that find it difficult to set boundaries.
Correct,
and like, you go along to a job and like the scope is just like way bigger than what it was said, or like after the fact you end up working on doing like 5 different revisions.
Yeah.
Like you just never set these like boundaries and stuff like that. And it's like, how do you, and we've gotten better at it, and now we're kind of like finding a way to like help our team with, not having to do it as much, because we've created the space so they don't have to be the boundary setter as much, but even still, it's still going to them. And so I suppose for anyone listening that is like a creative, like, and maybe experiences that, what are some things like have worked for you with being able to be better at setting boundaries?
So many, and I think you boys will resonate a lot with this. The more you realize and the more you step out of the business, the more you realize that these things have to be put in place to be able to create space and synergy, which I was showing to Ben before we jumped on camera. I think that really understanding the dialect and the language behind having a mature conversation with someone and at the get-go and setting the intention is probably the most important thing that any creator can actually physically do. You know, I've been to the shoots, which again, you guys will be able to resonate with, that you go there and they're like, yep, I just need a short 30-second promotional video. But you're only as good as the questions that you really ask them before you go. You're like, yep, I'm on site. I'm going to charge you $200. Let's just say, right? You're an hour on site. Let's create this 30-second video. That's very low on the scale, but just hypothetically. Oh, yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to drive to 5 locations. And I need you, can you just put your phone up there too? And can you take some photos on my other camera that my cousin gave me? And can you show me how to use this camera that my cousin gave me? Or actually, or I left my car. Can you grab a coffee? Like, huh? Right? Which at the start, it's like, oh yeah, 100%. And then where's the money gone? Then they take 35 days to pay you and want 16 revisions.
And ask for the access to the raw footage at the end of it.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, actually, I'll get someone else to edit it for you. And you're like, so the best thing that I ever learned was that every time I had one of those experiences was just to take the learnings and implement it exactly like straight away. Have a Notion doc and a checklist, which I was just saying to Ben before, that systems are like checklists as process are how you actually physically do the checklist. And just go through, which we're all learning. I'm still new at this in my that Creative Hub business. Go through and ask those questions. Have a discovery call. Discovery calls are like actually there for a reason. They're not people like sales guys don't make them up for no reason. Hey, do you mind if we jump on a 15-minute call or I send you a questionnaire? And just keep adding questions to that questionnaire so that you really understand what the client wants. Or jump on a call with your noted AI tool, whatever it might be, and like just ask those questions, because you get to that shoot, then you know where it is, you know what the expectation is, you can quote accordingly, you can send them boundaries. Yes, you get 2 revisions. You need to reply back to those revisions within 5 days. Otherwise, there'll be an extra charge, because obviously we've got the bandwidth in our head to make the revisions within 5 days. If you get back to us in 40 days' time and say, I need some revisions, we've forgotten about your project, which is shitty for us because we're not going to give you the attention it deserves. So about really setting the expectation with the clients is probably the biggest thing I've ever learned from a freelance to a business owner. And the more you can set up your freelance career to be as business process as possible, the better, I guess, your growth trajectory will be, from your CRMs to your Notion docs to your to the way you edit, hiring an editor, setting fixed rate with your editors so that you can still deliver the work and manage the income, but you're not going to get lumped with a $5,000 editing bill if there's been no contract in place. It's those little tangible systemized things, which I can't speak for you, but I know that Ben said before he's like a nerd with systems. It's those things that really, really, really help any creator, genuinely, in anything, even to like brushing your teeth in the morning. Like the more you can systemize your life to be able to create space for change and flexibility, and then also learning how to communicate that with your customer in the right way, being on site. Look, I appreciate there's a lot you need me to do. Based on our agreement, we did say this. What I'm willing to do, I can help you out for the next 15 minutes, free of charge, no dramas at all, because I'm a pretty good guy. I mean, you don't tell them that, but like in your head, you're like, because I'm a pretty good guy, of course I'm going to help you out. However, though, my time is valuable, and if you want the best out of me, it's going to cost you an extra $200. 90% of the time they'll be okay, or they'll just get rid of all their extra requests and just get you to do the work that they need to be done.
It's
amazing.
We're very fortunate. I got to sit down with Matthew Fletcher, who owns, he's the director of KPMG here in Geelong. And he said this little thing to me that absolutely changed what I was thinking at the time. And he goes, I've been a creative for a long time. I ran this, XYZ. And he goes, creative is 90% admin, 10% creative.
Correct, yeah.
And I was like, no, it's not. And he goes, okay, talk to me about a normal job. Okay, yeah, we have a discovery call. Are you being creative? No. What about the quote? What about all of the XYZ? And I was like, oh my God, you're so right. Like
it shoots the creative part and a bit of the edit.
Yeah. And it's like we're so fortunate at this day and age. Everyone looks at AI and goes, oh, it's going to replace us. It's going to be crap. It's going to speed up that 90%. Have the discovery call, run the AI note taker, get most of the legwork done on your quote through, GPT, Gemini, one of your agents, and then spend more time in the creative.
And there's so many beautiful tools which I'm working with Hakeem at the moment in my businesses. Like there's like Go High Levels, there's CRM systems that like literally everything is done for you. Like Zapier just zaps everything in a place. You know what I mean? Like it's so incredible that if you can learn and spend your time every day focusing on the systems and the processes to just increment your business, the sales funnel calls, the calendar bookings, like everything is there for you. So you're stupid not to make use of that. But they're just fundamentals. Systems, ask ChatGPT serious questions. Not like, oh, give me a system checklist for my photography business. Paint the character. I'm Brad, I'm 35, my first photography business. I feel like, I've seen other companies do this. I want to be like this guy. I want to do this. Act like a high-level videography consulting coach to get my business up to, $500,000 a year. What are the steps I need to take? Give me an action plan. This is what I do. This is what I like eating for breakfast. This is when I go to the gym. Like, actually use it as a thinking tool because it will really help you run those numbers. Like, actually have perspective to help you actually make the right decisions.
And the big thing too, I find, is don't use it to tell you just the outcomes, because then you become, you're just implementing tactics.
Yeah.
Get it to tell you what's the first principles, what are the first principles you're implementing here, and help me understand those so I understand why I'm doing these things. Otherwise, you're just living through whatever it's telling you.
Yeah.
But if you get it to teach the first principles, it's like with our script writing. Joe is great with this. He drums it into us. I'm more of the thing of like, let's get a GPT and we'll get it to we'll train it on all the, your knowledge, and we'll get it to pump out all the hooks and we'll get it to pump out all the scripts. He's like, that's good, but the tool used uneducated without the first principle knowledge, how is our team supposed to know what is a good, script and a good hook? And it's a really good mindset shift that he had, because we, it's great. We butt heads all the time because that's
good business though. Yeah.
He's a different thinker to me, and it frustrates me, but it's great because we debate on outcomes when we get the best thing.
Yeah.
But he's so right. Like we're now implementing that, and you see it in the team longer term. Sure, some of the turnaround times on where we'd like to be organized and get things done are not where they should be. But now, after 3-4 months, the team are doing it on their own because they get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And never saying, like, when clients come to you, it's like, how can you make their job as easy as possible? Clients, as I've learned, will spend it, they don't care how much it costs. The right clients don't care how much it costs. They just care that you can deliver and make it as easy as possible because they're time poor.
We had a thing with one of our team members probably, might have been 5 months ago. Because he used to have a freelancing business. I feel like there's a lot of creatives that do this. Like you start thinking more about the cost than the outcome that you're doing, and you start projecting that onto like how you go about the job. Is like, how do I start making this like cheaper, or how do I you start steering people away from maybe the vision that they have, because you know that vision is going to be expensive, and it's like, actually it's like that's not what they're after. Like, don't project the fact that someone might want the cheapest and go about the job that way. Like, I think, yeah, like you said, some people are just happy to pay.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, like, that's the vision that I have. And like, I think the thinking of like, how do I do it the cheapest? How do I do it?
Yeah.
And that was the thinking I had for ages too. Like, I was of the mindset with my previous business of like, how do I do this? Like how do I do this the cheapest?
Yeah, you're trying to refine costs and you're trying to remove everything. I look at my creative consultancy business, like our clients, we're trying to make our job for our clients as easy as possible. We'll do everything in the power, but we go, if we could deliver you this result and it's really easy for you, would you be okay paying $10,000, $15,000, $20,000? Yeah, if I didn't have to do anything. Sure. We deliver the result at the end of the month. Like, wow, that 20 grand I spent, I've done so much work that the company's made an extra $500,000, $600,000. For bigger companies, you realize that that's they genuinely, as long as you can do it and you don't go back to them with every micro change, but you're honest and you're very forward and say, look, we haven't delivered this. This is the roadblocks, but here's a solution to this. Always come with the solutions. It's like these little fundamental principles that if you can actually just genuinely learn from being out in the field or working with coaches, like coaches are underrated. I learned all this myself. And I'm sure probably you guys did when in your early freelancing days. This is just stuff that you learn from just fucking up, which everyone has to fuck up. But if you can actually have some really great guidance and coaches that can help you with the fundamentals of actually how do you connect with a client and how do you make it easier for that client to trust you and spend whatever it is that they need to spend, you realize that money's not the be all and end all. The relationship that you then have with that client, because you've delivered them a service, they value your time, but the money that you have opens up a whole door of possibilities because you can pay for things and have the support that you need in your business, is absolutely mind-blowing. And I just had those realizations over the last 6, 12, 18 months with having conversation with, people like Hakeem, who's in my team, and now helping us, elevate all areas of my businesses. It's like, well, you're only as good as, the glass thing that you put on yourself. So how are you actually getting that knowledge in? But you guys are doing that awesome for freelancers, though. That's what I love about what you're doing. It's like, the fact that you get to give these freelancers an opportunity to then have the work that they want, I guess, have the conversation that they probably deserve, need, but then having the systems in place for them to execute that well without feeling probably overwhelmed or too burnt out is such a beautiful...
Oh, yeah. I mean, all the things that we had to go through in our freelancing careers of like, you're doing a job and at the end of it, you're thinking, I have no idea if I'm going to get paid. At the end of this, like you're in it to want to like, you start off like, I think I was probably a little bit different to Ben, where I started off in like consulting and like a few other and e-commerce and stuff, and moved into this. So I didn't start off in the creative part, but I know for you, it was like the creative side first, and you fell in love with business. But for a lot of people as well, it's like they don't love the business part. They started it because they wanted to be able to like film or shoot and edit like 80 to 90% of the time. And then it turns into 10% of their time.
Yeah.
And it's like, we would love to help people that still want to do their freelancing career and do that the best way they can, but also like providing space to go like, if you don't want to do it, like there's other options as well if you just want to be the creative.
Yeah, correct.
And I think that was really the goal of this, and sort of like, let's give you all the resources you can to do that. And like anyone that doesn't want to do that, well, like here's also like a bunch of guests and stuff that you can go reach out to like work with as well. So that's sort of like the long-term vision. We hope it'll be a pretty valuable podcast for creatives.
Oh, 100%. This stuff is really important. Any educational support for young freelance creatives that, are so caught up in their creativity and they're so emotionally led is really challenging as a creator. There's difference between being emotionally led in terms of the way you create and storytelling, but then there's difference in being emotionally led in terms of the business element of your business, and it's not sustainable, and it won't be unless you bring the right people in to help calm your emotion, like to help unpack the way you emotionally feel about this, because business is business. It's very black and white. It's just how you choose to navigate it and how you learn to navigate is the most important part. That's why, as you've seen, there's a lot of freelancers that will only get to a glass ceiling. You
need a scorecard. You need to be able to see on the scorecard the transparent metrics. One interesting thing that came up before from what you're saying, I think is on the top of my mind before I forget, is obviously you're in creative consultancy. Like, how important is it to connect with the client and understand what it is they're trying to achieve versus what they're telling you to do?
Yeah.
And connecting with that and being able to go, oh, you're trying to achieve this and you're trying to tell me to do this, but I know you need this. And it's like guiding them from there. How much of it is that, do you find?
All of it. So I have a very good relationship with all my clients. I have a small client base, but they are very, very loyal. And they have been since I was 18. So my clients are the same. One thing I've really learned is that majority of the time from having the conversation, asking the right questions, they'll be like, hey, Benny, I need, like let's say hypothetically, I won't name the hospital, but a hospital chain, and they go, Benny, we need this done. And I go, okay, cool. They're like, we've got a budget of X, Y, and Z. Cool. So let's just say 20,000. Cool. Okay. What are you trying to achieve out of this? Oh, we're trying to educate these people and these doctors on this. Cool. How are you distributing it? Oh, well, we're thinking about doing an online course. Cool. So are you creating a course or are you creating videos for Facebook or a website? I guess it's going to be a course. Okay, cool. But you've asked me to make promotional videos for your website. Oh, yeah, true. Hey, hang on. So talk me through what this would look like. Talk them through. That's the process every single time. Because the more you actually understand them, you realize that not only do they need, as a business owner, firstly, there's a lot of opportunity for you to also provide other services and grow that initial, to grow that revenue, because you can actually, be competitive with your pricing because you can offer so much, because you know how to do it and it's easy for you to do it because they're going to go to like 7 different places now. Corporate's always this sort of way, right? But then as soon as they understand that, oh, actually, I need this. And then, hey, why would you spend 20 grand on this when you could probably spend 5 grand in ad spend that we could get you someone to manage for you? We could create 44 different short form content with some great hooks that would get the better results, that would drive revenue to here and then do this. They're like, oh, true, actually. So, I think it's about guiding them all the time. From the client, from my big carols, my events that 10,000 people, like all it is all the time is just helping consult them to consolidate their thoughts in some clear, actionable metrics and outcomes that then we can clearly go, it's this amount of money. These are the steps we're going to take. This is what the process is going to be like. Let's both sign off and hold each other accountable. And that's all it is. Very simple. But that's why those calls and that understanding, that relationship, the first hour of my meetings, most of my big ticket clients will go for about 2.5 hours the first meeting. The first hour is just talking shit. It's about, I know how many cats they have. I know where they live, how long they take to commute to work. I know what they love, what artists they went to last weekend, because all of those things help translate exactly how they're like. As soon as they start to say what the problem is, you can understand exactly how they want to execute it. Then you can really tap yourself into that business and go, I can be as much support as possible because I know that you travel to work and won't get there till 11 o'clock every day. But if we could get all the assets done by 11 a.m., it means you can log straight into work and we become so valuable for you. So I think understanding your client is number one. I do like 20% business chat in our consultation meetings. The rest is like I could ring all of my clients down and be like, shall we go for a dinner at La Poqueta or like Nobu or somewhere? And they'll be like, yeah, let's go. And that's, I think, the power of having a really good, strong, relationship with your clients and aren't afraid to be like, Benny, I fucking hated what you did there. Really? It doesn't happen much. But they're like, but can you just refix it for me? I know that if you do it again with this feedback, you'll get it right. They trust the process, but they're not afraid to be like, I hated it. And that's a beautiful thing too.
You do need that feedback sometimes to be able to and your ability to take that on board without too much
friction.
Yeah, because I find that's something I think creatives do struggle with a bit. Is you've created something, you've got an affinity towards it, and it's like yeah, it's like, and even sometimes a suggestion, it's like that's what they want, and in your head you're like, that's worse. It's not good. I know this is better, but you just have to go but it's what they want, and that's what they've asked for, and you have to kind of be able to step away from the ego a little bit
and
of
just
time.
be able to communicate that too. The ego is the hardest thing. I struggled with that at the start. I'd make this beautiful wedding video when I did weddings, and we'll never touch them again. Was we loved all of it, but I didn't like the music. It just doesn't resonate. It just doesn't feel like it connects with us. 2 ways to solve this. One, I could have just asked them what music they wanted at the start and get to know them better. That would have been a quick fix. That would have saved 15, 20 hours of me trying to edit to music. Number 2, I understand. Let me just explain to you why I chose this. And after this conversation, if you still want to change, 100% I can change it for you. Because most of the time then, sometimes I'll be like, oh, you know what? Actually, I understand why you made these decisions, and by choosing this song, it will look like this. But hey, at the end of the day, if you want that, that's completely fine. We can do that for you. that conversation is a killer, because honestly, I reckon you can save 90% of revisions as a creative by just having that conversation, explaining your creative thought process. But then at the same time, then there's 10% that go, nah, just please change it. Like, yeah, okay, no dramas. And you butt your head against the wall and you just suck it up, because that's what you do, because you're paying to provide a service for a client.
I think that's important though. If you are taking it to heart, communicate why. And I think that's so important. Is like, if you can't communicate why you've done it, well, then you shouldn't be able to stand behind your ego. Like, you shouldn't be able to stand up to that ego and be like, oh, it's the best thing. And it's like,
what was the intention?
What was the intention?
Yeah. Intentionality is so important in all aspects too. As you both know, as creators and filmmakers, photographers, like, if you can explain the intention behind something, it creates more meaning for the customer. So if they know that you intentionally did this because of this, because it evokes this, more often than not, they're going to be like, oh, actually, I do agree. How about you just change the way that transitions, and then I'll be really happy with that, because it makes sense to me now. And then it's like, oh, okay, cool. Crisis averted through education.
I like what you said as well earlier around the whole, like, throughout all of this, I feel like there's this whole thing of like, how much can you do early before, like, I feel like having obviously there's ways to handle the conversations after the fact and all that sort of stuff, but it's like, if you haven't made the mistake already, then like learn from this. But for us now, like, yeah, we do really long onboarding and discovery, because it's just like, it has to be that way.
Correct.
And there's so much of like, what's the outcome
Correct.
that you want out of it? Asking as many questions as we can early, and expectations set in the beginning as well. Can we get the music agreed to earlier? Like, there are these things that, like, oh, well, next time if I just do that earlier, they can't come back to me afterwards and go like, now I want to change this, because like, I feel like that's every videographer's nightmare for sure. It's like, afterwards, can I send it?
Especially if you're editing to music. What a rip in the chat. It's so bad, isn't it?
A rip in the chat.
I have genuinely edited so many things for music, and a client goes, oh, it's great. However, I just don't like the music. It doesn't align with our values. Cool. Okay. What does? Cool. So I have to change my entire editing style now.
And there's not always a perfect process. Like, I know recently we've chopped and changed a little bit. We've gone down the route of, okay, we're going to do a radio edit, and it's going to be bass music with the A-roll slapped in, and it's a black screen. You're going to listen and approve that. And then we're going to build basic visuals, and we're just going to build the clips on top of what you've approved. And then we're going to do the advanced edit, and we're going to add captions, graphics, and anything else. And you go, oh, in theory, what a great 3-step process. Yeah, it's 3 steps. They only get 1 revision at every stage. You go, it's bulletproof.
Yeah.
This can't go wrong. And like, recently we rolled it out, and it's like, oh no, like, I want to do different music. And we went through like 4 different changes of music, and we're holed up on the first step, and you're like, I don't know if this is the way to go, because some people need to see the visuals with the audio to understand what it is you've created.
Yeah.
But some people can just quite literally listen to the vocals and the sound and go, oh, whatever you do from here is going to be perfect.
Correct.
So it's like, oh, how do you ask the right questions initially to understand what sort of person you've got?
Yeah.
And then going like, okay, this one's going to be a visual where, when we do the radio edit, we're going to have to throw in, we're going to have to start at the basic edit.
Yeah.
Or work around.
And have you found a solution to that? Like, in terms of...
Not yet.
I think the thing that came to mind, actually, because I like to provide... Like, I like to be a solutions man sometimes. In EO, it's all about giving experience shares rather than solutions. But is that, like, you've got these beautiful noted AI tools that you can use that straight away in my head, if I had to be able to be like, all right, how do we navigate this problem? It would be sitting there going, look, okay, I guess there's this client, how can we best understand exactly what the process is going to be like at the start? And I think that's from just purely taking the data from the last 15 customers you've had, the way that they've navigated the editing style, slapping a title on each of these core customer profiles, and be like, this is the fuzz bucket, and the fuzz bucket's going to do this, or this is the angry viper, and the angry viper is going to be like, and then taking those initial meeting notes, chucking to ChatGPT, and like, based on all the data, what category does this person fill into? Because it might also help. Like, I'm a very good judge of character, but some of your sales team might not know how to judge a character well. They might know how beautifully to sell, but when it comes to actually going, oh,
this is how to spot an angry viper.
100%. Like, but and I found
how to deal with it.
and I found that too at our Creative Hub by actually like labeling our customers, not in a negative way for the customers that are watching. You're all lovely, right? But by putting them in a customer type, it really helps the person working on the project understand that these are the traits that they might have. These are the things I could probably implement based on the 17,000 different ways you can do this and the systems that you guys have created at WeCreate. Like, which one can I apply? Because it's not going to be one sock that fixes everyone. And that's one thing that I found has been really beneficial across businesses. It just takes time to then really find that core customer.
It's funny what comes to mind there, because like we in a different way, we've just called it like, what are the red flags? Like, what are the things that trigger certain types of people? And like, we've found weirdly that the people that are in onboarding, or like that we're talking in a sales call, that say, I want to be like the best client, I trust you guys completely, like whatever you go, like, but the most particular, like, it's because I think it gets, when you listen to that and you go away from process, because like, oh, don't worry about that. They're cool. No, don't worry about it. Hey, they trust us. Don't worry about it. And then you get down the line and you've gone too far apart from where they're at. And now you're trying to like pull it back over to here. It's so hard. So it's like, we're just like, we hear that now and we're like, do the radio edit. Do everything as we need to be doing it still, because like, don't want this person to come way back afterwards and be, the angry viper potentially.
100%. And it's just it's the intention setting. That's all it is. It's going like, I find that people that ask me a lot of the questions, the team at the Creative Hub will sit there and be like, oh, they ask so many questions. But they're normally the easiest clients, purely because their intentions are already set. And as long as you follow the systems and deliver the exact same result, they will never complain.
Yep.
Because they've asked as many questions as possible. They know the ins and outs. They know what to expect. Everything's laid out to them. So there's actually no reason that they should be coming to be like, oh, so like, when am I going to get the edit? Because they know that, it's going to be in, 14 to 20 days.
Well, I feel like you might resonate with this with your like being around like coaches and in that sort of environment. Because one thing that's come up for us around this as well is like one person's, not every word means the same thing to everyone else. So like we've like, some people can say like, I want an inspirational edit, and then like the way it actually comes out is like not what we would define as like inspirational. So like, I feel like all those, just defining what people mean when they say certain things, like that questioning that you're saying, like it goes deeper than just lots of questions. It's like probing, I find.
Creative storyboarding and like visual identities are really important. One thing that we're starting to roll out in the Creative Hub is like having a consultancy session with our clients that are like a visual identity to help them really understand visually how they want their brand represented, the tonality. Because, for example, someone that says inspirational, for me, inspirational is extremely, like, I think inspirational is something that is more mellow, soft, emotional, soft-spoken, extremely impactful. But some people, it's like the Kendrick Lamar music at the background, lifting weights. Like, it's very different things, where I found that two ways that we've, I guess, mitigated that is from letting them build out their own creative storyboard and what references, what are you consuming? What are you watching that tells me that you think the inspirational means this? Add as many links as you can in there. Like our clients at the Creative Hub is like, what reels do you want? Cool. Okay, you want inspirational reels. Cool. Okay. Let's give us 10 examples of TikToks that you love. Send it to our account. Then you go, I know what they're trying to talk about now. And I feel like just that little step creatively helps you create the synergy between understanding all the questions, but then executing those questions into like tangible visual assets. As I do all the time as a consultant, I need to make sure I really understand, because I come to creative houses like you and go, okay, based on this strategy that I built out, I need you to execute 35 reels for this client. This is the tonality. You're going to have to ask me this question because the client's paying me to act on their behalf. So I'm about to have that exact same call with you. So I need to understand as much as possible so that you go, does the client, so these videos you need, do they need to be, what's the grading? Is it a flat color grade? Is it meant to be sharp? Is it meant to be cinematic? Are you doing crop bars? Is it 1:1? Like, what are we doing? So knowing that from their visual representation, I can be like, here's something that they really enjoy. You're like, oh, okay, I get what you mean. I found that has been the biggest game changer because I know how to do that, but does my editing team know how to do that? Probably not. So how can I best make sure that they visually can see what's in my head as an ADHD motherfucker? Like how can they see what I'm thinking about? Visual is like the easiest way. And then we've got a folder of just like random assets that you go, oh, do I think that she'll like that video? Let me look through all the reels. Oh yeah, he did it there. She loved that. That's really helped us.
That's super powerful. That is super, super powerful. I think any creative could take that into their workflow, whether or not social media, video production, wedding videographer or photographer. Like, I think that is super, super valuable.
And one more is the music element. I love this part. Every show that I create, our last show at the Palms at Crown 2, I sat down with the entire creative team and I literally played every song and I spoke through the way I wanted it to make people feel. This is very intense, right? But if for a high budget, high level creative, I spent $75,000 on my creative team for that show, 30 in just the music. And I was like, okay, I'm going to invite them all over for pizza. I'm going to have a listening party of just the bare minimum assets. Like, we're going to take the tracks that I love and I'm going to explain to them. So I played the track and I was like, all right, spotlight's going to hit here. Low-lying fog's going to go here. Then as the song builds, I want the camera crane to fly in through the corner here. I want a guitar stab. Then I want this to happen. By the end of it, they could see the show. So that they were all so aligned with the vision and the purpose of my show that they would make choices based on knowing that that's what I would like because they were so aligned. And then they'll be like, oh, Benny, wait, rewind this. What about if we do it let's do this like this arpeggiated stab here? And I'm like, yes. And then that moment there is when that like creative connection, that camaraderie really comes to life. And I felt that like when you really are finding it hard to translate that to your client, that has been such a powerful way to do it through music, listening and talking through the way it should feel. As you all know, you do it in your own head as creatives. As a videographer or photographer, you know that when you're going to shoot a video, before going into it what it's going to visually look like because that's what we do as creators. So if you can align everyone else on the same level through a multitude of different ways, it's such a game changer.
And it removes that friction because it's competing ideas. The client's got an idea, you've got an idea, you haven't articulated it, they haven't articulated it, and you're both trying to create a different thing.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
It's such a beautiful thing to do. And it's my favorite part of the process. Genuinely, like I love it so much.
And on that reference thing too, to jump back to that, easy way to incentivize it, right, is if for your creative pre-production process, create a situation where you go, cool, you can either send me 10 references, right, or you can pay me $300 and I'll go and get the 10 references and you can tell me if you like it.
100%.
If you send me the 10, I won't charge you the extra $300.
It's a great way to package.
Because you're doing the pre-production for me.
Yeah.
It's like,
I really love that idea.
And just create a scenario where it's like, you do the work or I do the work. I'm happy either way.
Yeah.
You're going to get a better outcome because you understand it. This way, we're going to have to go back and forth. It'll be time and money.
It's very similar to like when SEO people do keyword research.
100%.
Same thing. They'll charge you $800 to do keyword research, or you can go to them with the keyword research you've already done and spent 15, 20, 30 for it, like 40 hours doing. That's a really great way of putting it.
Solution heads.
Yeah, I know. I love it. I'm gonna go back to the creative hub and be like, Ethan, we're implementing this today. What were you gonna say?
It's like the same voice. Like Ben does the same thing. Like people come in and be like, I've done something. I've done something, and they're like, guess what I've done? And it's really like a new system or a new thing implemented. It's great. I was going to say, just when you were talking about building out that thing, it's like that setting of the vision is like it's like the same for the business, right? Like if you've got team members around you and like setting the vision for like what do we want to get out of this year and what are the things that like are going to help us achieve that and everything like that. I think I remember, the first, I would say like 3 or 4 years of business, I placed no value on like where people were saying like, yeah, you've got to have a mission, vision, and values.
Oh yeah.
And like, because I was just like, missions make fucking money.
Yeah.
Like, What do you mean? Just make as much money as I can. But like, obviously, you go through and you grow up a bit, and you sort of go like, oh no, right? It isn't that, because actually, I don't want to just make as much money as possible. Because if I had to do that, work 80-hour weeks, that's not what I want. So actually, you start getting clearer and clearer. But I think from the side of like being able to communicate that with a team, or even with like a longer project, even just, sending like a vision and helping everyone get on page. I think it is pretty magical when you see other people bring in stuff that you hadn't thought of, but it's in line with the vision, helps us get there. And it's like,
I understand it.
That's like, that's some of the magic part, I reckon, of working within a team and having like working on bigger projects and
it's
stuff.
important to always reiterate the mission too, and really understand why you do what you do and what's the outcome supposed to be, and why do clients come to us to do this. And I think it's like vision and mission and purpose aren't things that are just sitting there for the sake of it. Like they're created for a reason. I think people just forget that, and still I forget that too. Like we had a meeting last night at the airport at the lounge with myself and the team for the Creative Hub. And we're talking about, our vision and mission and purpose. And upon reflection, I got on the plane and was like, we were so loose about that. We know what our mission and vision and purpose is, but we just didn't articulate it. And I need to be a better leader to be able to make sure that the team can say it wholeheartedly with no ums or buts or ifs, because they clearly know that that's what our intention is. And it's always a work in progress, and you're never going to have this all worked out. Like I'm 24, still fucking have no idea really about anything. But what I do know is that what I do well is that everything I take and I learn how to implement it as fast as I can. If you can't do it yourself because you are too crazily ADHD in your own head, then bring other people on to help you, hold you accountable for that. Because there's people that genuinely really want to see you succeed, and then they're there to do that. And I've got, an awesome human who's now doing that for me. So to be able to have that is really special, and you don't have to have it figured out too. Like no one really knows what they're doing.
We implemented something. No, they don't. That's true.
You figure that out along the way. No one
figured it out.
Yeah, I just had a brain moment there before with the whole bloody costing thing. Like, see what I mean? We all figured it out.
Oh yeah, you learn stuff with other people. We implement something around the mission, vision, values where we do so we do like 2 team meetings with everyone in the business on a Monday and a Thursday, and every one of those someone in the team reads out like the vision and mission, and like we do that twice a week and sort of try to share it around so everyone gets a chance like reading out and they're seeing it constantly. And then at the very end of the meeting, we wrap up with this, we put the values on the screen, and then we say, like, we get the team to like basically like shout out other people in the business of like, actually, I was working with, Alex the other day, and like there's something that messed up and she owned it, really showed like ownership around it, and like took this on board. Or like, I worked on this edit with Hugh, and like that really showed like collaboration and how we went about it. It's like, that's how we've gone about implementing. We've found a really cool way. It's like the team have like fallen in love with the values of it, and because they're hearing it all the time, like
when someone does something actively, you're like, yes, that person did that value. And it's also like that in itself is such a beautiful exercise with your team, because I could only imagine at the end of those meetings, everyone's like, fuck yeah. They're also pumped because they're giving each other compliments. They follow the values. They're proud to be a part of the team. Everyone's trying to pick on these beautiful things that everyone else has done that's hyping everyone else up. So then reciprocate, like they're going to reciprocate that energy straight back at them. Then everyone's like happy and vibey, you know what I mean? Like,
and the best part off the back of it too, at the end of every week, there's a questionnaire that goes out. So everything that we've spoken about in the week, everyone gets 1 vote per week. to vote for someone, they have to name the person, the core value that they've displayed, and how they've displayed it. And then that goes into basically at the end of the month, we call it the Pogie Awards, Person of Greatest Impact. And then we reward that team member. Whoever got the most votes for, XYZ, we reward them.
Yeah, great. That's a really nice way to do it too.
And it's like, it's just pointing out moments of greatness.
Yeah, 100%. The Pogies. It's like the Logies, but for the Pogies.
Yeah.
Because we've got like a good chunk of the team that's over in the Philippines. What's Pogie in?
Handsome man.
Oh, I love that.
So the team was just saying it all the time, and then we'll think, what do we name? I don't want to call it Employee of the Month. I don't like. What do we call it? And just like Ben came up with.
It was Q. We ran a questionnaire throughout the team, and Q came up with Pogie.
Oh, I love that so much. The Pogie
Awards.
I reckon a few people have replied back Pogie on my story occasionally. Like I thought that meant something bad. Like, so here I am going like not ever implying to them. So that makes sense. Handsome man in Philippines.
There you go.
There you go.
See, I've learned something new today. The Pogies. So then at the end of the year, do you have like the biggest Pogie?
We haven't yet. We haven't got that far. But that sounds like
the Pogie Awards. Bro lights up like canapes, cocktails. They get up and accept their Pogie.
It's a big event.
Fly over the Philippine team.
Yeah, it's just a video. It's just a gold statue of you both. It's like the Pogie. goes to the best team member.
Bruce,
the Handsome Man Award tonight.
Ego will go through the roof.
Oh, I love it. Honestly, the team and camaraderie is an amazing thing, and I'm more so every day now learning how to be a good team leader. And I've still got a lot of bloody work to go. But hearing those little things too, and that every business owner has the same challenges to navigate is always refreshing too, no matter the stage of business that you're at. It never changes, just the scale changes, I guess. Even having a conversation with one of my mentors, Rick, he goes, something happened, it cost, 400 grand. I'm like, wow, very similar to me, but mine cost me 4 grand. But nothing changes besides how big the value is. The problems always stay the same. They're just at different levels. And that's really refreshing to always hear. So that's why I love when you're talking about the Pogies and about the team members and about the systems and processes and the mistakes. It's like, it always reiterates that, okay, what you're doing is the right direction. There's no real right or wrong, but everyone does experience the same sort of stuff.
Problems are good. Problems means you're pushing the boundaries and things are breaking. Problems are a very good sign in a general sense.
Yeah, exactly right. You need them to be able to navigate too. So yeah, I love it. Honestly, it's always very refreshing to have these conversations.
Hey, well, I've thoroughly enjoyed your time today. One
pleasure.
Last thing I always like to end with is like, what's just one thing? It doesn't have to be business, be personal. Anything you're happy to share? What's one thing you're like excitedly looking forward to, maybe towards the end of 2025 or into 2026? I
think what I've really fallen in love with at the moment is the gap and the gain concept. The concept is, if for those that don't know, is that entrepreneurs, creators always compare themselves to where they want to be, and they call it the gap because you're never really content with the outcome. Where the gain is where you compare yourself to where you started. And quite regularly, once a month, I will video myself, and I've done it since my mum passed away, and just talk about life to my camera on my MacBook. Looking back and reviewing that and seeing how far you've come is the most beautiful thing. And I think one thing I really look forward to at the end of this year, there has been so much growth. I've probably done the most growing this year that I have ever, between my businesses, the teams, the structures, the systems, and a lot of that change has only been in the last 6 months. I look at myself from a 16-year-old through to being a 24-year-old. I've hosted some of the biggest events, and it's incredible that you don't realize you've done. You genuinely don't look back and go, holy shit, I've done that. I did that. No one else. That was me. So I really look for, I think one thing I'm really excited for is going away. I want to book myself a week in Cairns in a little tree house by myself because I'm a bit of a hippie, and sit there and just watch all those videos back from the last 5 years and just really relive all of that. That's really exciting for me because just seeing the growth that the 5 years has been, that 6 years has been, I think will really give me that sense of like, wow, and fulfillment to be like, I'm content with what I have. So anything else right now is just a blessing. And that's something I'm really, really excited about. There's so many, transactional, like synthetic or, whatever you call that stuff that just happens. Like so many amazing things I've got coming out this year. I've like 15,000 people at my events and like so many cool things, but I don't do it because of that. I do it because I want to be creative and help give other people opportunities in a space. So the fact that I get to go relive all that in my little video diary over a glass of wine and climbing a coconut tree is pretty special.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming on. Are we keen to hear how that experience is afterwards?
Can't wait.
Maybe we'll be able to bring you on again.
Oh, I love it. Thanks for having me. Thanks for everything you guys are doing. It's awesome. It's so great to connect. I mean, it's the first time I meet you guys, and I feel like the connection's always going to be open now, which is so awesome. So many similarities, and I feel like I said coming into here today, I was like, if you're in Geelong or the area around here, like this, like why wouldn't you be booking this place right now? The Geelong Photo Studio.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Not sponsored at all because I'm just reading it. Like, this place is amazing, and congratulations to everything you're doing and achieving too. I think that the more that creators and business owners can connect and celebrate their wins and refer and pull guidance off each other and learn is so special. So what you guys are doing in this podcast is pretty cool. So thanks for having me.
No, I appreciate it. And before we let you go, where can people find you?
Bennygregs. Just search it up anywhere. It comes up. Bennygregs, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Tinder, Grindr, wherever you want to search for Bennygregs, you can find it anywhere. I'm an open book. Come and message. Always here to support. And I can't wait to just keep on growing every day.
Thanks, Benny.
Thanks very much, guys.